welcome to the Real Pundits podcast. My name is Brandon,
And this is Alex.
and today we are going to be talking about a movie that everybody seems to love and adore called Snatch.
Snatch. Guy Ritchie, one of Guy Ritchie's most well-known films.
Yep, it's probably the one that put him on the map before he did the Sherlock Holmes movies. But before we get into that, let's talk about some trailers we saw this week.
Let's go into what's been going on this week.
So the first trailer I want to talk about is my least favorite trailer out of the ones that we've decided to talk about today.
Yeah.
Future World, starring James Franco, Mila Jovovich, and Lucy Liu.
Somewhere in there, Lucy Liu's.
I didn't see her in the trailer at all. But
she had like a 5-second, I'm turning around. But are you sold on it?
No, not at all. It looks like Mad Max with robots. Like iRobot had a baby with Mad Max, and James Franco got stoned and picked it up.
Okay, that sounds like it. I'm looking at it as like all these people should be almost retired movie.
Yeah.
Minus the main little robot girl.
Yeah, I have no idea who she is.
She's the only person that's new and the kid that I guess she's saving. But that was just what I just said was basically the rundown for the entire trailer. It's Mad Max dystopian world. You got Mila Jovovich doing her normal I'm crazy, and
I had
James
such
Franco.
high hopes for her too. Not even past the Lulu Dallas multipass thing. Did you see that movie where she was in Nome, Alaska with the aliens?
What?
Yeah, she was. It was based on some kind of true story thing. I forget the name of the film, but it was Mila Jovovich. She was a psychiatrist in Alaska, and people were disappearing and all kinds of.
No, I missed that one. That one
was
100%
actually
miss.
a really good, solid, kind of conspiracy alien tale.
See, the next one for me for Mila was that Musketeers, or I don't know what they call it. Three Musketeers or just
Oh yeah,
Musketeers.
the Musketeers.
The Musketeers.
That was the remake of the remake of the remake.
Yeah, the action-packed version of the Three Musketeers.
Which was nowhere near as good as the Disney version.
I like some of the things they did in the Musketeers. That was high octane.
But it wasn't as good as
story-wise. Garbage. But as far as visually, that was an action-packed.
Do you know what the best Musketeers movie is, though?
Are you gonna say something silly, aren't you?
Man in the Iron Mask.
Okay, see that's
the best movie
that
about
one
the
I'll
Musketeers.
definitely give. That one was worthy.
Like DiCaprio did phenomenal. John Malkovich did great.
That was a well-rounded group there.
Yeah, solid star power there, but not as good as the Disney version with Charlie Sheen and Kiefer Sutherland.
That's a guilty pleasure. That was a really good family.
And wasn't
friendly
Robin
film.
in that too? Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out I can like something he's in.
There you go. So you just have to get out of that range of him trying to be a serious
with Nibble Batman.
Right. All right. So what's the next one that you watch? Because I know you ended up sending me the message about this one, and
man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch Meg or the Meg.
Meg.
The Meg. I hope somebody just tells it to shut up once.
Oh, that
and just does the shut up Meg.
The Family Guy reference there.
But oh man, this movie is about a megalodon that is found after 200 million years of supposed extinction.
But it's not just the megalodon. I mean,
there's a giant squid in there.
I'm not even talking about that. It's the fact if you can go through and talk about the megalodon. Okay, if it was like a underwater Jurassic Park,
it's not an actual megalodon though.
I'm not even getting to that part. It's the fact of all the people they have to be the main star of this movie.
Jason Statham.
I
wonder if he's gonna fight it on land somehow. I hope he kicks it. I hope he kicks it square in the head.
I'm waiting for the action sequence between him and the megalodon. And
that's what I mean. He's gonna fight it on land.
That's gonna be horrible.
No, I hope he doesn't. I hope he actually shows like he's a star in the movie we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, but
I hope he actually shows
a high science type of thing. This is not. I'm supposed to believe him as
some kind of marine biologist of some kind or archaeologist or whatever he's playing. I don't know what his character is in this film.
Now, the shocker of the entire trailer for me wasn't just, we're underwater, it's Jason Statham. There was a guy who I mainly knew from Vine, and I've seen him on a couple of like little TV shows there, but Paige Kennedy is actually in it, and I have to believe him as a character after watching almost all of his Vines. That is going to be a fun thing.
Do you know what I'm really excited about? The Deep Blue Sea setting. They're going to do Deep Blue Sea better than Deep Blue Sea did.
Not really, because there's another Deep Blue Sea. They're doing Deep Blue Sea too.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Why? Because Hollywood has to make two of the same type of movies.
Yeah, but I mean,
And then Sharknado's coming out sometime in
yeah.
July.
So I mean,
We're
we're
just gonna
really
have
killing
sharks,
this.
sharks.
And there was like what 2 movies last year that were shark based. The one where the girls were inside the cage and it was thinking, and then you
Mm.
had Blake Lively had one where she was stuck on a little piece of an island and there was a shark.
You
Sharks
know
are
what
a
comes
thing.
next now, right? The Jaws remake.
At this point, after Megalodon, I'm not. I'm done.
Jaws wouldn't like once you have a giant prehistoric shark. Jaws
Everything
doesn't seem as impressive because
and
this thing
you.
looks like it could swallow a boat.
Yeah, there was one scene.
Yeah,
It
where
looked
it
like
does.
looks like
Yeah,
it is swallowing a boat. So at a certain point, I'm going, why?
yeah.
There's no reason to have Jaws. We're done.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if somebody does say we're gonna need a bigger boat line in this film?
Oh, it's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Something stupid.
Some sort of homage.
There's gonna be
Jaws.
something to Jaws because this is, I guess, a new version of Jaws for a new generation.
I mean, you got to do it bigger.
It's so big that you almost go prehistoric.
Well, you do go prehistoric.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to explain how.
There's I forget the percentage, but there's the majority of the ocean has not been explored.
Oh, I'm not even talking about
So it could there theoretically could be something massive living
yes
that we've never seen.
Okay, how many times have you eaten ants?
I mean, to my knowledge, none.
Okay, so that's what Megalodon, human beings, not even
But
worthy.
boats.
Yeah, one boat, it'll get the taste of it and do like normal sharks doing. No, that's
You don't know what they like. You don't know their lives.
I go through an interview.
Megalodons?
Megalodons.
Oh, that makes sense.
That I go around ocean to ocean and I try to interview them and see what they like, what they don't like, and that's just my.
But the movie
hobby.
at least looks like a good time. And that's my point.
It looks like fun. It looks like someone put a big budget into something a little bit more believable than Sharknado. So
That's true.
I'll go see it just on the.
I'm excited to see it because anytime you can give me a movie that looks like I can check out and just watch it.
A fun movie.
Yeah,
There's a lot of movies out there
game
like
to see that. As long as it doesn't star Adam Sandler, I'm sold.
Yeah. Now the big question is, after you see the Meg, I would like for us to go through and do a review because I want to see how you respond to this because you seem to be the man who can find fault in everything.
Oh, I'm gonna probably hate it, but I want to go watch it.
Yeah, at least sometimes you have to go to a movie just for the fun of watching a movie.
Yeah, no, and that is a thing. I know I seem like I just hate movies all the time,
but you.
But I love I love to watch movies.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I used to love to watch movies and never find anything bad about them. But as the older I got, the more cynical I got. The more cynical I got, the more I just started crapping on everything. And now it seems like the reason I go see movies anymore is just
to
so
find
I can
something to
crap on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very rarely am I just so enamored by a film I have nothing bad to say. I think the last time that happened was, and as far as new releases go, is it Deadpool?
Okay.
I didn't have anything negative to say about that. I don't know what else. I know there was something. Before that, it was that stupid vampire film, What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
Because I just got to check out, and I knew going into it, it starred one half of the Flight of the Conchords dudes.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't going to be a good film. So I went in there going, okay, this is going to suck, accepting the fact that this is going to suck, and had a good time watching it.
See, now, if you can go into every movie like that,
but see, that's the problem. I paid
movies.
$1 at Redbox to watch What We Do in the Shadows. I didn't pay theater prices.
It's for the experience of going to see a movie with people.
Oh no, and I'm game for that. But if I'm gonna pay $15, I have the right to bitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next one.
This one I'm excited to see, but I know you are more excited to see it. So
yeah, Upgrade. This is a perfect combination movie. You have your sci-fi, you have your gore. It's kind of funny to me. To me, it seemed very humorous. Like the laughs that you will get from this movie are based on it. Basically, this guy, his wife ends up being killed by a whole bunch of gangsters, and then he's paralyzed from the whole situation. Some guy randomly shows up and goes, "Hey, I can improve your body by adding this like computer chip to the back of your spine, and you might be able to walk again." He goes, "All right, cool, do the whole thing." He has only one thing on his mind, which is revenge. Gets the chip, it actually works, he can walk, and then he starts going down after these people.
And the chip apparently lets him know.
Like, hey, the ship is like totally sentient, and just talking to him like, hey, you have to give me permission to overact and use your body, and then that's where the fun begins. Now,
I think there's a dude with a gun in his hands.
Yeah,
like
there's other people.
There's other bio enhanced individuals in the trailer. It looks like a really, really good time.
And it looks like a good combo movie. It has the sci-fi elements,
humor,
and you have, for horror fans, you have that over the top gore.
I wouldn't call it horror for horror fans. I think it would be more for action fans.
Oh, this is beyond action, man.
Well, grindhouse action fans.
All right,
so it's got that modern grindhouse feel. There's another film that does that too. That I saw the trailer for, Revenge.
Oh,
yeah, it looks like excessive, over the top violence, but not as good as Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, see, that's where I start drawing my line. Is
like, it's a big budget.
See, I liked Hobo with a Shotgun.
So did I.
It was I don't take it seriously. I take it as it is grindhouse, and let's just enjoy that. It's
Hobo with a Shotgun goes in the same category as Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Oh,
it's bad grindhouse, awesome,
and that's where I go.
Same thing with Sharknado. All hail the Sharknado.
Okay, but that I'm looking forward to seeing Upgrade. If I get my chance, theater worthy, I don't mind dropping theater money to go see that, because I want to give back to.
Do you know what I just realized about Sharknado though? I can't go back and watch them. Like, I'll watch them when they get released on Sci-Fi, and then like now they're on Netflix. The other night I tried to go back and rewatch it, and I couldn't sit through it. All of them. I can watch them once, have a good time once, and then I like check that off my bucket list and never want to do it again.
Okay, I see. I never tried rewatching them. It was one of those things, if you catch it,
because I have fond memories of it. I thought, well, maybe I would just like to do a whole little thing with it, and then I couldn't sit through it. It was just too stupid. But I love them, so it's a weird thing.
Weird thing. But the last part of the whole Upgrade thing, this is a Blumhouse film. So if this does well, you think the future has more big budget, big to theater Blumhouse films that are actually have stories and are able to progress past. They're just.
I will tell you what the success of this film relies on when it's released. If it is released on the same weekend as any Marvel film that's coming out this year, any Star Wars film that's coming out this year, any romance film that's coming out this year, it's going to do poorly. Or family.
It's a June 1st.
What else is coming out June 1st?
You know what? I haven't looked to see what other movie releases are out during June 1st.
Because that's really what makes the difference. It's if it comes out and it's the only thing out, people will go to the theaters and check it out because it's like, this looks interesting. But if it doesn't, it really depends.
This is gonna hurt.
What?
All right, so we got Jurassic World.
Done. It's gonna crush it. That film is going to be forgotten.
The Incredibles 2.
That's the other half of the audience right there.
Sicario. Yep. It's coming out.
Sicario 2?
Yeah, the new Sicario.
Oh, yeah.
That trailer is hot.
I hope it's going to be better than what I'm hoping for.
I think it will be.
Or what I'm expecting it to be.
A movie that you hate, Ocean's 8's coming out in June.
Yeah. I don't need to see anything with Rihanna in it unless Chris Brown comes up and slaps her.
And then you got Uncle Drew, the basketball movie that's coming out.
Not so bad looking.
And so those are our major movies. And so right now, it's not looking too good. But I mean, that weekend that it comes out, it's not competing up against anything. So it's like the first thing that come out, nothing major coming up. But the weekend after that, it won't hold a double weekend because as much as you may hate it, I'm telling you right now, Ocean 8 is going to at least do money.
Sure it's going to do money.
Do money.
It's an offshoot of a popular franchise.
And it's a heist movie.
Starring Sandra Bullock, so therefore it's going to do well. And some others, but really, my worry is that these multiple sequel films, they just keep getting worse and worse. I hope that it does well. I really do. This is not me hoping. I'm not going to go watch it.
Yeah, you know I am though.
I'm not. I wasn't a fan of Ocean's 7.
I
did too. The Italian Job was good. Ocean's 1 was okay. Ocean's 2 was meh. Ocean's 3 was Ocean's 4 through 7 was.
There's no 4 through 7 yet. You're really pushing it because I mean, Ocean's like
I'm just playing it off of Ocean's 8.
I know how far you're going to go with it, but
you get my point.
I just
don't care. I don't care enough about it. To me, it's Ocean's was a cool one-off. It was this cool all-star ensemble, but I think that some of the characters in that film did a lot better in Burn After Reading.
Okay,
which was really well done. I think that we're past the big ensemble heist films.
Okay, now is it against big star ensemble films? Because this is a perfect segue into the last trailer that we're going to talk about.
No, big star ensemble films are a thing. You look at the new Jumanji that just was released that people liked.
I'm not talking about just
average
like
people
3 or 4
and that's
stars.
how I know. That's how I know
bigger.
that Oceans is going to do well, because even if a movie isn't good, a lot of people will go watch it.
Oh yeah, Anne Hathaway
based
Kate
off
Blanchett.
of stars in it. You look at The Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black were in a film called Jumanji 2, and it was stupid and it wasn't good, but people still went to see it in droves.
Yeah, that killed box office. For like
it wasn't a good film, but it kept doing well.
It was like the whole mindless thing. It's entertainment. You just go there, you watch it, you turn your brain off, and you just go with it. You have to ignore it. Or you're the old school Jumanji fan?
No.
Oh, no.
No. It was stupid.
All right. So moving away from the stupid, the reason why I was kind of like leading you down this path, Avengers, Infinity War.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it up again because of how many stars that you have in that movie.
That movie is why Ocean's 8 will do poorly.
Oh, wow.
Because we're watching the big ensemble number, right, and everybody's going to go see that film, good, bad, or otherwise. Everybody's going to go see it because everybody's been watching these movies up until this point. Even if it's the worst movie ever filmed, even if it's worse than The Room.
Okay.
People are still going to rush to the box office to see it.
So does that mean that we actually are going to go see it?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to set it up.
We're going to be pulling a really long night. Okay. We're going to go watch it. We're going to come back here and do a half-hearted review because we'll both be exhausted.
Well, we're going to give a very non-spoiler review.
Oh, I'm going to spoil the hell out of it.
No, you're not.
This is your spoiler warning.
No.
I know.
I know.
We're not spoiling it for on the podcast. You can spoil it on your spoiler review you'll post.
Yeah.
After you give it a week or two.
I'll at least give it the first week. I mean, if people haven't seen it by that first week, heck, we can talk about it on that next show. But I at least want to give. Yeah. There's a little consensus going around on the internet of people trying to do something that probably hasn't been done since the olden days of. Let's not spoil these movies. Give it at least enough time for people to go out and go see it, and then go talk about it.
Are we doing a Loma Cinema?
Probably.
Okay.
It'll probably be a late night, but either way, it'll be worth it. We'll do a show, then go see the movie, and then do another Finish the show. So we have that to look forward to. Anything that you're looking forward to as far as this week that's going on? Or am I the only person with something this week?
You've got Lost in Space. But...
Yeah, I'm gonna go through and watch it. It's an old classic, but they've really shaken up who's who in the whole situation. So
I'm ordering Nightbreed so I can watch it and do a review.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
There you go.
Because Midian is where the monsters live.
Okay, so at least we know what that is going to be all about. And that pretty much knocks out of what's going on this week. Now, is it time for us to actually jump in?
It's time to get into Snatch.
Okay, so we're going to jump straight into Snatch. First things first. How long has it been since you watched it?
Oh, man. It had been... I used to think I watched this movie all the time, but it had been a few years. Probably 2008, 2009 sometime.
Okay.
The last time I watched it.
So when you walked into this, before we get into all like the stats and what we think about it, were you putting on your fanboy glasses?
Oh, no.
I know this is one of your favorite directors. So
I put on, and unfortunately, I put on my critic glasses instead of my fanboy eyes. I'll tell you what, man. I did not enjoy this movie as much as I thought I was going to, because I went through it the eyes of a cynical critic.
Now, since we're in the movie world, cut to Guy Ritchie at his house right now, and he starts to feel a little pain in his chest. like the
Yeah,
start
because
of a heart
one of his
attack.
biggest defenders is going, damn it. The point, and we'll get into my feelings towards it
Yeah.
when we discuss it. You already know my feelings towards it. I wrote a review. It should be up on the website very soon. I was not nice.
Yeah, and I was waiting for you to actually go through and talk about it a little bit more in depth, and I can actually read the email, the what you emailed me as far as your review, so I can go through points about what you honestly feel. It's those moments where you ask somebody, "Tell me how you really
No,
feel."
it's a therapy session because I disliked the Guy Ritchie film.
Hey, you're going against one of your favorite film people, but let's go through. Let's just do it the way we're gonna do it. Let's go through the stats first. Let's just talk business side of this entire movie.
Snatch,
All right, so
released in 2000 in the UK, 2001 in the US, directed and written by Guy Ritchie, otherwise known as Mr. Madonna.
for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
All
At
right.
that time, he was Mr. Madonna.
We're not going to get into that because
Yeah.
if we start doing that whole Mr. Madonna thing, he did make a movie with her as the main character, and it was one of the worst Guy Ritchie films,
I know.
in my personal opinion.
I forget about that film entirely.
Oh,
right
and
now.
I like to bring it up to wag it in your face because, Guy Ritchie. Okay, yeah, he made a movie with her as a main character.
Yeah, you can wave her, Madonna, and Charlie Hunnam together. You can bang them together like a monkey with those little two symbols that are just wound up just to get me irritated. I get it.
All right.
So this was starring Benicio del Toro, Vinnie Jones. Yes, that's right. That Vinnie Jones, the former rugby player, football player, turned actor who has been in every great English film ever.
Almost.
Except for Green Street Hooligans, he wasn't in that, but Charlie Hunnam was. Also, Brad Pitt and Jason Statham.
Brad Pitt's one time where in the if you go through and put on the subtitles for the special edition of Snatch, there's a part of his entire thing that no one to this day knows.
Even the people doing the subtitles.
All it had was 3 question marks because they didn't know what he was saying. Him playing as the Pikey, I think, was one of the.
It was the best parts of the film.
All right,
and
so
it's what gave it some semblance of a U.S. crowd.
Now that's where we get into I wouldn't say our big problems, but the money side of things. What happened with the money?
I don't know. It went on a UK budget of £6 million, translated into $8 million, $8,541,714.
Okay, you got that one through. I was impressed.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to. But opening weekend in the UK, it only did $3,180,002.
Mm-hmm.
Or pounds, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then the U.S., it's where it really screwed up. Brad Pitt was not carrying movies quite yet. $27,932 made opening weekend. Gross worldwide, though, the film has done $83,557,872, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, because word of mouth is what I think pushed that movie. But a lot of movies during that time period were all word of mouth.
Yeah, people weren't. There was no internet to really put a buzz up.
Oh, there was.
In 2001, you had to call people on their house phones.
No, it wasn't that far back. This is
I still had a house phone and a pager in 2001.
Okay, you like to hold on to old school because 2001.
Oh no, I had the brick Nextel.
Okay.
That was I could throw it at somebody. Those things still work.
Oh my goodness.
I saw somebody on the internet had plugged it in for the first time, turned it on, played Snake. It still worked.
Now, the fun part for me was looking at the scores for this movie, which is impressive for the time period because this is kind of sad. Rotten Tomatoes, of course, we all believe everything that comes up on Rotten Tomatoes, blatant lie. 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not bad.
Not bad.
55% though on Metacritic.
That the one we actually follow is
gave it the worst.
Now
I understand why after rewatching it though.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. First things first, is there, as a Guy Ritchie fan, a huge Guy Ritchie fan, give me your positives, man. You got to give me your positives.
Jason Statham knocked it out of the park as Turkish. Him and Tommy were the bright shining lights besides Bullet Tooth Tony and Cousin Avi.
Frankie Four Fingers.
Benicio del Toro wasn't in it long enough for me to really. I mean, he was the great catalyst for everything.
Oh man,
I loved the first couple. I loved that opening scene with him and all the other guys dressed as rabbis going in and stealing the jewel. I thought that was brilliant, but nothing was as good as the banter between Tommy and Turkish over A, the gun, B, the caravan.
Oh, the caravan, yeah.
Just the whole thing with, Tommy's like, needs that gun. Like, who do you need protection from? The Germans. Like, there's some solid dialogue and solid moments between Turkish and Tommy. Bricktop, man, like that character was.
Oh man, Bricktop, I think is one
for a mobster. You wouldn't expect him to be like that hard of a mobster.
But he made his presence known, especially when he walks in. The guy's trying to get rid of the body of Frankie Four Fingers and
tells him how to do it.
And of course, he's like, he walks in. Do you know who I am? And one person in the room, the one guy who's a yardie who's supposed to be a thug, goes, I know who you are, but no one else does. Yeah, that for a little skinny guy who has horrible teeth and a really bad accent and a pig farm, you start to go, yeah, this guy, he's the bad guy. And he created, I have to give props to Ritchie for that one. He made a bad guy that you go, I think I could take him in a fight, in a one-on-one fight. If I lose, I'm going to the pig farm. But
did you? How'd you feel about Boris? Boris the bullet dodger. Boris the blade. Oh,
well, if anybody who's ever watched Snatch knows, the one scene that makes Boris is not even him on camera. It's during his death scene, his actual death scene, and Vinnie Jones just keeps on putting Desert Eagle rounds in this guy. And
shooting 50 caliber rounds into this guy, and he's still coming back and talking crap. My favorite scene, though, is when Boris gets released from the trunk. And he's just in the middle he's in the middle of the street, tied up, bag over his head, looking around like, holy crap, I'm free, gets hit by a car. And then you cut to a scene with Turkish and Tommy going to Boris's house to tell Boris that they need to give them a gun that works, and then Boris comes just walking up,
grabs the guy by the junk and slides him to his house, walks in,
grabs this giant gun, starts walking back.
Still cursed up a storm, and walks right back out the house. Now, those are some of the greater scenes. There's tons others.
Bullet Tooth Tony and
the replica.
No, not the replica scene. The car scene where he's got the guy's head inside the window.
Inside the window,
and he's driving and he's asking him questions.
And he turns on Lucky Star by Madonna. Yeah. See, that's where the Madonna thing started.
Yep.
Lucky Star. But there's so many great scenes in this movie, which is where my first problem with the movie comes up in. For its time period, I thought it came out. It was great. It brought the UK flair to America cinema. Not saying that it wasn't there beforehand, but this movie was palatable by the American public. But did the American public eat it? No, because you can look at the money stats. It didn't do great. But this movie is full of great scenes, like really well put together scenes. As an entire movie, as a script, I thought it was lacking. I thought that, yes, he connected all the parts of the entire movie, that there's a story, but at a certain point, it was just a grouping of really good scenes, not a movie. Do I watch it like a movie? Yeah. It's kind of like watching Pulp Fiction, another movie of a whole bunch of scenes that are put in together, but we're going to get into that.
I was going to say, that brings to my biggest issue with the film, and I'll get into my largest issue with the film.
Okay,
Guy Ritchie, who said in an interview that he is very he's a huge fan of Tarantino. He said it in an interview, right? If you watch Snatch, you can tell how much of a fan of Tarantino he is. He bit off Tarantino's entire shtick that he used in Pulp Fiction.
Basically.
With this is how many stories are going on, this is how they're all tied together. The difference is he doesn't know how to do it, because Tarantino is the guy that can do that, not Guy Ritchie.
But that was the whole point, though, that was Tarantino's claim to fame, was the fact that he could take one of his stories, chop it up, and still keep you entertained while telling the story, bouncing all over the place.
And Guy Ritchie kept me entertained, but he didn't tell a consistent story. He told a bunch of different stories, and when it all finally came together, you're like, oh, okay.
It was a complete circle story.
Yeah.
I mean, it started with one grouping of one item and rotated all the way back down to that same one item, and
told the story that the people care. It's funny that I don't care about the diamond anywhere near as much as I care about Mickey.
I'm okay about the dags. Dags are more important.
You like dags?
I like dags. But
dogs.
oh, oh man, some of those scenes.
Yeah.
I just think that.
Are you a boxer? You look like a boxer. That was probably the best introduction to a character ever. You see this slick talking pikey.
Right. It's like a
going,
gypsy.
Irish gypsy living in England on what we would call in America a trailer park.
Yeah, full of
or an RV campsite.
RV campsite, more
and
like that.
Filled with these what they call caravans or RVs. And they show up to buy an RV. They get swindled. They end up losing the wheels on the way out. They don't want to give it back because they don't want a caravan with no wheels. And then basically they can get their money back if the big boxer, Gorgeous George, boxes Mickey. And he tosses that little guy around for a few scenes. You're like, why is he getting up? Why is he getting up? And that's what you think the first time you watch this movie until you finally see it just takes that one punch and then he's out.
Now, if you go into the whole...
And he's basically wrapped up and jaw broke everything for the rest of the film. Gorgeous George is out of commission.
But if you take just that part of the story, like if you could just re-edit just the story of Mickey, that's an amazing story and it was shot amazingly. That's the problem I have with hating on Snatch is using just the guy could paint a picture. Lock, Stock, and the Two Smoking Barrels, earlier picture by Guy Ritchie.
It was almost the same movie.
Yeah, but the picture painting wasn't done well.
It wasn't as refined. There was a smaller budget. There was he hadn't quite found his niche yet, and to be honest, in Snatch, he hadn't quite found who he is and his directing style yet. Even though
I think he did.
I don't think he found it.
Maybe not in his directing
he was coming
style,
close.
But his writing style.
Oh no,
the guy could write.
I'm not bashing his writing.
I question some of his writing because it's not a thing of he can write a 5-minute scene that is hilarious or gets to a point or tells an amazing story. But coming from the writing point of view, if you just step away the fanboy part of me and just look at how the story was written, it was a little lackluster. But at the same time...
But you get into his next film, or his next big film in my mind, which... I'm not really going to talk about too much here.
Or you better bring up one of your all-time favorite
I'm talking about
movies.
what made me a Guy Ritchie fanboy, which is Rock and Rolla. That was a fantastic, well-told story from start to finish.
You sure you don't want to talk about Swept Away with Madonna? I mean, I thought...
No, I don't want to talk about Swept Away. I also don't want to talk about Sherlock Holmes. I definitely don't want to talk about King Arthur.
Okay, all right. I was just gonna let it go, but I mean, since we're on the topic of Guy Ritchie, can I at least try to pull the rage out of you? Maybe I'll make your nerd tears.
Go for it.
I brought this up before. I don't know if we did it on the show or not. You know what he's directing next?
No.
2019. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they did was it Cinderella live action?
Oh yeah, the Aladdin thing.
Yeah.
I thought he lost that.
It's not official yet.
I thought he lost that because of how bad he did with the big budget on. So basically, Disney's going to give him a large budget and say, "Hey, make your running scenes." Because I mean, in Aladdin, okay, for the first half of Aladdin, when they do that whole street, when he's still the street rat before he's like riding the magic carpet into the castle with all the golden monkeys in the parade, he'll do well because it's Aladdin running around. What I don't want to see though is the Aladdin exposition. Like in his head talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, like him running down the street. I bet you wonder how I got into this.
And he freezes for a half a second doing that traditional Guy Ritchie thing. Yeah. It's going to be basically Revolver mixed with Aladdin. So, all right.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh,
that's sarcasm.
Okay, because I'm going to say, you cannot talk bad about Revolver.
No.
That was one of my favorites.
I'm talking bad about another live-action Disney film. Because Beauty and the Beast was such a great movie.
I hate to say this, but as a non-Disney person, I have yet to see either one of those movies.
Yeah, you don't have a daughter.
Ah, true.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a daughter who likes Disney.
Ooh.
So I have to sit through all this garbage, like Frozen. And
do you want to build a snowman?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I do not. I live in the South. I live where it doesn't snow. I don't want to build a snowman. I don't want to see a snowman. I don't want to hear about a snowman. If I meet somebody from Norway named Olaf, I'm going to walk the other direction. If I don't want anything to do with that at all, ever.
Okay, so no snowman.
I don't even like carrots anymore.
Because of that movie.
Yeah, because there's a reindeer that loves carrots, a guy that loves carrots. They put a carrot in the snowman. I'm done.
Okay, so we'll never talk about
The only snowman movie I will ever watch is Jack Frost, and not the one with Michael Keaton.
Okay, so we're going with the horror flick one, the toxic waste snow thing.
Yeah, man.
That's the
only snowman movie I want to see.
We have to do that. All right, so
back on Snatch.
Back on Snatch. The guy can paint a great picture. He's a great director. I just think Snatch was. If he could do Snatch today, I think it would have been.
Once he found his voice, sure. But my problem is, you look at the build up to the end scene. The dialogue was useless. It was just dialogue for the sake of dialogue. It didn't serve as much. The second act's dialogue was great. The way the second act was shot was fantastic. The third act, we got some entertaining scenes out of it, carried by unnecessary dialogue, brought to the climax scene, which was arguably the best scene, and wrapped it all up in a nice, pretty bow.
Which is where I go. His writing skills on that part was perfect, but we got so little of that. You got that wrap up was almost okay.
It was quick done.
It was quick done. It was over with. And of course, even if you've never seen the movie, you know it's coming. You're trying to figure out where's the twist going to be on this one. And my problem was, it was almost like a situation like you see currently in Hollywood. Okay, we got this great movie. We did great in Act 1, great in Act 2, and now we're getting to Act 3, and someone's going, okay, you need to finish this up, wrap this up now. And it seemed like, okay, let's just finish it.
Yeah.
And that's my big problem with Snatch. You walk away going, that was really cool how he wrapped it up, but meh.
That's
it was over. It was over. And I think that's where my scoring was, of course, 1 point higher than yours, because I love some excellent film scenes like that. That will get you points for almost.
That's how they got the only 2 points I gave him.
Wow. So are we gonna
actors and film scenes? Because what carried this movie for me was Jason Statham, Vinnie Jones, and Brad Pitt. Period.
Okay.
That's what carried this movie. The well written scenes he did helped, because Vinnie Jones is good, but without proper writing, it's not going to be as good.
No.
Brad Pitt, I think he took a role that, given anybody else, probably would have failed miserably.
Yeah.
And knocked it out of the park, similar to how he did in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. And during that time period, up into the 2000s, that guy was he would do a movie and pull it off.
Yep. Obscure films too. 12 Monkeys, Legends of the Fall,
Meet Joe Black,
which is one
of my favorites.
And really, he didn't get a whole lot of that mainstream appeal until he went to did that movie with his ex-wife.
Yeah, but
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, with the one they met on.
No.
I think that's where people were like, "Oh, Brad Pitt's."
I think he was actor. No. I think he was pretty big before that time period, because he got the whole Sexiest Man Alive before that, didn't he?
But that didn't mean anything. George Clooney got that too, and what's he done?
At the time that he got that, I think he was at his hype of ER.
He did Batman.
He was at the hype of ER.
And he did Batman with nipples.
Okay, so we're back to the Batman with nipples situation. So, at the end of the day, let's go ahead and wrap up. What are your final thoughts on Snatch? Now, do you know that somewhere in the world, Guy Ritchie is
crying.
He's crying because his number one
Benicio del Toro did a bang-up job. Vinnie Jones knocked it out of the park. Brad Pitt killed it. Jason Statham, I actually enjoyed him in this. The movie itself was fun. It was enjoyable. I don't hate it as much as I may sound like I'm hating it now. I used to love it, but at this point, I've now obviously aged and grown up, and my film tastes have changed a little bit. And I have certain expectations, especially when I've seen what he's capable of. I have certain expectations out of a film, and what I expected was what I thought I saw. And then watching it again after the first time in years, probably close to 9 or 10 years, I saw that he was trying to be Tarantino without the skill.
That's a heck of a burn.
Well, because arguably Tarantino is the only person that can be Tarantino and do what Tarantino does. And my other problem with Guy Ritchie is, and this is something that I have to go back and look at. I have to go back and look at his other films. Guy Ritchie can make one style of film. That is a tough pill to swallow for as a Guy Ritchie fan. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrel, Snatch, and Rock and Roller,
and Revolver,
Revolver
especially.
They're the same movie, told in different ways with slightly different tweaks to the story. He can do one film really good.
The Crime
Capers.
Crime Caper.
Better than Oceans ever could have been. But he can do them. And he can do them well. And he has his own unique spin on dialogue, and he's fantastic at it. But I think that's all he's got.
Well, that's why. Okay, you bring that. We're gonna have to go into this because I wasn't going to, but now we're gonna have to go into it. Do you think that was the reason why we had the problems with King Arthur?
Yes,
because he was out of his zone.
Yep. I saw on Snatch what happened when he tried something that was out of his element. He tried to do a Tarantino film.
I don't think he was trying to do a Tarantino film.
He may have been trying to pay homage to Tarantino or saw something he liked in Tarantino and said, I'm going to do that. Because technically, he did the same thing in Rock and Roller, but he did it his own way.
Right. This one, at that point, I don't count Rock and Roller in that. That's the reason why when you're going off about, it's kind of sad that I'm the one defending Guy Ritchie right now. But you...
Especially because I'm calling him a Tarantino knockoff.
Yeah, which is should make me happy, but I feel bad that you're sitting there and shooting down your guy when I go, you have to put Rock and Roll in a different category.
I do. It's like, the same type of movie, but it is one of his best films. Every actor in that's hold up. But we're going to talk about that at another time. We'll actually do a review of that on a different podcast because I have a lot of good I can say about it. I've seen that movie in the last year. Okay. I know it's great. But
do you think that as his time has changed that he does not have the ability to go out of his zone?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's good at one type of movie. Even in... I hate to say this, even in Sherlock Holmes, right? Mm-hmm. He did the action sequence the way that Guy Ritchie does an action sequence, and it's right. Cool. Good. He told two different stories intertwining.
Yeah.
Heavy dialogue. He did it. It was good. But it was still a crime caper.
Okay.
It was just a crime caper about material that was sourced.
Okay. I mean, if you putting it like that, I'm trying to go through and think about all of his other films. I mean, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., again,
crime caper,
sort of crime caper.
Yeah.
Now I haven't
spy caper, but still.
All right, I'm going to be honest. As much as I joke around about the whole Swept Away thing, I haven't seen Madonna Swept Away thing.
I don't want to see Madonna Swept Away.
You don't want to see her get pulled into the ocean and just disappear off?
Is that what happens?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, then I will watch that if she disappears.
I should have told you that's what it was, just to see if you would actually go through and watch
it.
I
go find it and watch it and be like, oh no, he lied to me.
But I want to sit there and say, do you think that he's progressed? Do you think he should hold a place? Do you think that just because he's only in one lane that...
I think that he is great for his lane. Unlike his counterpart in the U.S., Tarantino, who is I call him his counterpart because of the heavy dialogue.
Right.
Actually, he is to Tarantino what Rodriguez is to Tarantino.
Okay.
Rodriguez is good at one type of movie.
Okay. Now you're stepping on hot coals, man.
No, man. Action movies.
No, there's other things that...
Like what's been good?
Okay, Spy Kids is actually an action movie. Sorry.
So is Planet Terror.
That was a grindhouse, man.
It was still grindhouse action. Still action.
Okay, there were a couple explosions and people flying through the air. I just watched that recently just for fun.
And there was a severed leg that had a machine gun attached to it.
Believable.
Yeah, I know. Grindhouse action film. No, that's what Rodriguez does. Low budget, even high budget, but still making it look like low budget action films.
Yeah, once upon a time.
And he's great at it.
Yeah,
he's fantastic at it, but he knows where he belongs, and he stays there. And he's got his El Rey network, which does the exact same thing with pro wrestling and the kung fu flicks, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
he doesn't change. Tarantino.
Wait a minute. That's still an action flick. I keep on like Sin City was action flick.
Very action.
Okay. But if
Tarantino is the only one that has out of the three of those, is the only one that has progressed, expanded, and knocked everything else out of the park.
Yeah, because there's still rumor of him doing a Star Trek.
There's not a rumor. From what I'm understanding, it's about confirmed. He's got the script.
Yeah, but they're saying that it's not going to go through. But we'll figure once that's
see.
Official.
I hope he does a sci-fi because that's the one genre he hasn't touched.
No, nor even written for anybody else. Because I mean,
yeah. What else does he have to do? He's done a Western twice.
True.
He's done...
He did the war movie that he said he was going to do with Inglourious Bastards.
He did the Kung Fu flick. He did the Kung Fu flick Revenge Tale.
He did it. He technically directed an anime because the middle of Kill Bill 1... No, Kill Bill... Yeah, Kill Bill 1 with the Oren Ishii part of it was an anime. There's not much left that...
He's done, obviously, The Crime Caper. He
did his own version of Exploitation with Jackie Brown. What else is there? And I still count Natural Born Killers as his.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah.
It was Oliver Stone's, but he wrote it.
Yeah, and then, of course...
It's the same thing with Pure Romance.
True
Romance, yeah. It's the same thing there. But he's touched on everything.
I think, yeah.
Other than sci-fi.
Sci-fi would definitely be...
Because I don't count... But I can't really count Death Proof as horror because it wasn't that horror.
Death Proof.
It was more... Because that's the one I try to forget about that he did. Because out of the two, I preferred Rodriguez's Planet Terror.
Oh, Planet Terror was 100% Grindhouse. Like, that was...
Death Proof is more like... I guess it was horror because it's kind of like Christine.
Right, but it was Tarantino doing Grindhouse.
Yeah.
And so it had such heavy dialogue, the way he shot it, it was a totally different situation. But I think that it's staying in your lane is what makes it worth it. So your final score that you wrote
2 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Guy Ritchie needs to stay in his lane, stay with what he's good at.
But this is his early, second.
It's his early work, and I get it.
So
but even his first work was better.
I do prefer
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels was way better.
Snatch I see as the comedy version of it because I laugh all the way through that.
My issue with Snatch is that Lock, Stock was shot differently.
Oh yeah,
the way it was shot was completely different, and I think that was closer to what Rock and Rolla became.
Okay.
Then I think this was him trying to mirror a director that was popular in the U.S. He was trying to mirror Tarantino. Maybe he was paying respect to him. I don't know what his intentions were.
I would definitely say respect.
But I saw way too much. I know he's a fan of his. I know he's a huge fan. He said Tarantino's an influence of his. But I think there was too much Tarantino and not enough Ritchie. Because Ritchie isn't Tarantino. Rodriguez isn't Tarantino. And that man writes movies with Tarantino.
Right.
And he still knows not to try Tarantino.
Right. Except for when Tarantino's actually in the scene.
Yeah, when Tarantino's there, then he can do it because he can be like, no, that's not how I do it.
That's not how I do it. But that pretty much sums up our single movie review for this week, which is a little bit of a change of our format because we wanted to go through and...
We just wanted to talk about one film this time. Instead of a genre or breaking down body counts or going into remakes and why they're bad or, award shows. Let's just talk about one film, review it, talk about what we liked, talk about what we didn't like.
And so next week, you want to go into
let's do another review next week. How do you feel about...
what you got?
How do you feel about Tombstone?
The classic Tombstone?
Yeah, your response should be...
I'll be your Huckleberry.
That's just my game. We play for blood. No, and that, if you guys haven't seen that before we do this episode, you should go watch Tombstone.
One of the more...
best Western. One of the best
modern Westerns.
Yeah.
I'll put it up there because I still have some others that are above that. But that definitely is... All right, I'm game. Tombstone for the next one.
Perfect.
All right, so go through and crack that one open and sit down for a spell.
All right. For any of you listening on iTunes, please do us a favor. Help out the show. It'll help us rank better on iTunes. Go leave us a review. We prefer 5 stars. We feel like we're a 5-star podcast. If you feel like, I know I'm not a 1-star. We know we're not a 1-star podcast.
No, we're definitely not a 1-star.
But rate us how you feel is preferably a 5-star. But give us a rating. Give us a review. Help us get up in the iTunes ranks. For those of you on other social media, follow us on Twitter at BrandRealPundit, at BrandRealPundit.
And I'm at ANA Real Pundit. And give us a holler. If you have something you want to talk about movie-wise, please shoot us a message. We'll talk about pretty much any movie. And if we haven't seen it, we'll put you on pause in that whole conversation. Go watch the movie and then come back and...
we are always engaged in discussions on Twitter. If you really want to engage us, though, go to Facebook and find us at the Real Pundits Film Talk.
Yep.
And also like our fan page there, the Real Pundits, also on Facebook. So,
And we also have our website.
Yep, at www.therealpundits.com.
And hit us up. Other than that, you got anything you want to lead out with?
Yeah, actually, also check out my review. It's finally up of Near Dark, that Bill Paxton vampire film I was talking about. We'll be releasing the review of Snatch very soon, and then of course once I have in my hands, Nightbreed, I will be reviewing that film as well.
And then I'm going to be putting up once I get through Lost in Space what I think of it. It's going to be hard to sit there and not have my fanboy glasses on because I'm pretty much going to take those things and throw them across the room because I'm going to watch this fresh-minded and see exactly what's going on with it. So we got a couple of reviews that'll be coming up. Then we won't be really sharing on the podcast. So if you like to read,
definitely go check them out on the.
Yeah. So other than that, you want to lead off with anything? Any recommendations after last week's? I mean, you really have a lot to top as far as what you want to tell people to go.
Yeah, I would like to specify. All of the opinions that we share here are our opinions. They're not your opinions. They don't have to be your opinions. You can disagree with us. You can agree with us. You can add to it, take away from it, formulate your own. The most important thing here is watch the film. Go watch the film. That was actually going to be this podcast's name, is Watch the Film, but it already exists.
Yeah.
Before we did it. But the point is, we wanted to bring up movies that we like or dislike. I thought I liked this movie. Apparently, I don't. No, I still really enjoy Snatch. But we wanted to talk about things that we like. We wanted to talk about movies. But more so, we want you guys to just go watch it. Go. Don't bootleg it either. Don't pirate it. Go pay for it, man. Something that most people don't realize is I get that the theater is expensive. And I get that piracy is not everybody views it as a victimless crime, and then of course the DVD things. Piracy is not a victimless crime. You wouldn't steal a car, would you? All that crap that you see on that. That's not the point here. What you do when you bootleg is you cause the rise of ticket prices. You cause the rise of costs of making films because studios have to make their money back. So when these studios put these out there, you're going to pay $15, $16 for this film. Now, if you love movies, if you want them to continue being made, go pay for it. Don't pirate it.
Wow, you went.
That's the thing. I was in a conversation the other day with somebody that does not buy films; they pirate it, and I tried to explain it to him. Like, eventually, if everybody in the world quit paying for films and just pirated them all, there would be no reason to make any new ones.
Yeah.
And you would kill the art form.
And that's why I push people to Redbox. Anybody who starts talking about it, like, oh, I'll just get it. I'm like, just pay your.
Yeah, pay the $1, pay the $2 to watch it at Redbox, and if you enjoy it, go buy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't buy it. You wasted $2, and if $2 really hurts you that bad,
then maybe movies shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe movies shouldn't be on your mind anyway. Maybe you should be worried about getting a better job.
Wow, we're getting real serious at the end of this whole situation.
No, because it infuriates me to hear and see people pirating films. You look at how the music industry changed so much when Napster and they started bootlegging. I mean, they've been bootlegging movies as long as they've been bootlegging music, but people were still buying CDs at that point in time, and it didn't kill it till iTunes came out, and you could buy just the single you were trying to get for $1.
Yeah.
Now, you have these theaters. They're not going to. Well, actually, no. They're going to be releasing them straight to Netflix soon. They're going to be releasing them straight to the Disney platform soon. And you're going to kill the theater because you guys. I mean, not you guys. I'm assuming our listeners are following the rules here, but there are people out there that refuse to follow the rules. They'd rather sit at home and pirate it, watch it. So they're going to give you the ability to pay $10.99 a month or $9.99 a month or $20 a month, because I guarantee you when they start releasing big budget Hollywood films on Netflix directly, that cost is going to rise.
We'll see. I've been keeping a steady watch on that. But you make some really good points. And so now I have to find something the exact opposite of what you're going to be doing and talking about and being all serious.
Oh, no. Okay. But I'm going to end it.
Are you going to end it
with a normal thing? Go watch.
What you got?
Oh, man. We were talking about the Three Musketeers. Go watch that Disney version of the Three Musketeers with Kiefer Sutherland and Charlie Sheen before the crack rock.
Okay, all right. That's your positive.
Yeah, that's my positive. Man, go watch that fun movie. It's such a good time.
Okay.
It's stupid. It's got, but the best part of it is it has Tim Curry. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to pay homage to the most recent Twitter conversation I've been in for a few days.
Okay.
Go watch The Howling.
Oh,
that
very
beautiful
good.
werewolf series out there, and a shout out to the guy who wrote the people that wrote the book, The Complete History of the Howling, available in the U.S. or worldwide market sometime in November.
There you go.
We've been talking with these people, or I've been talking with these people online. Eventually, I guess according to them, we'll be having them on the podcast soon to talk about the Howling.
Yeah, in the future, we're gonna actually go through and do a whole Howling.
You guys want a really good werewolf film? Watch The Howling. That series alone is just, it's amazing. It kills it. Even when it gets hokey, it's still good.
Yeah. Well, that's your positive.
Yep.
My positive is more shameless plugging of us. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to be the first person to talk about it. We're going to be doing our own shows coming up here very soon. We're going to have like a midweek drop of Brandon's going to have his show without me here, and then I'm going to have my own show, which is going to be called Geek Out. The Real Pundits present the Geek Out, and we're going to be talking about things differently than we normally do on our combined show.
You are.
I am, because I'm going to be talking about things that, like Star Trek, where I don't have to hear you complain the entire time.
And my show is going to be me complaining
the entire
time. Actually, no. I'm going to be doing reviews specifically on different films. So sometimes I am going to complain
the entire time.
Sometimes I'm not. It really just depends on what movie I watched.
Okay, and mine's going to be about whatever geeky things that are currently going out and going on, so I can talk about Infinity War without having you sit there and talking about them.
How do you know I'm going to crap on it, though? Like, I could love this film. You don't know.
Okay, let's go through all the episodes we've done so far.
Oh, I know.
And then let's see how many movies you've actually praised. Even one of your favorite directors tonight, you didn't praise.
He deserved it, though.
Oh, what did he do?
What did I say bad last week? Nothing.
But here's the problem. After the King Arthur thing, you need to go have like a little counseling with you and Guy Ritchie, because you've really
scorned lovers.
Yeah, because you've just become very bitter after King Arthur.
Don't ruin Avalon. Don't ruin one of my favorite fantasy works.
All right, man. Well, it's another show in the can. Let's use those film terms.
In the can, yeah.
In the can. Other than that, keep a steady listen. We'll be around for as long as you guys are listening, which will be forever.
Like, share, and subscribe on different forms of social media. Definitely share this around. Give us those ratings on iTunes. Visit our website to check out the reviews. We are the Real Pundits. We'll see you next week.
We're done.